dude, you don't have to worry. She's 18. And we're like, it's not the age, it's the fact you met her at a family reunion.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Is that 18 in dog years? Because that's okay.
So that was my week.
Oh, that was almost as bad as the time you told me you pulled your meat out of the refrigerator and it farted.
Well, good night, everybody.
Well, that was the show. Oh, God, I love that feature. Anyway. No, it's true. We could do like a whole pop-up video style show. And
That's kind of what I'm going for.
The official dog of Figure Action has just left.
No, I thought Joe was coming back on.
He is. Right now he's trying to thwart Superman.
Actually, I think he's trying to get elected president first.
Yeah, one of the two. Or he's working with Ozymandias probably in the current timeline. Anyway, it's Thursday night. It's a little bit past 9 o'clock. And if you're watching us here live on YouTube, that can only mean Figure Action is back. And T-Man is eating dinner.
Ooh.
I like how Dave's not even looking. He's like, ooh. And it is apparently storming in Baltimore. That's pretty crazy that your mic picked that up.
It was loud as hell.
Thunderstorms haven't made their way down south yet. But anyway, I'm your host, Extra Zero. Thank you for joining us. And with me tonight is the usual cast of characters, sans one very crabby dude who I guess after he gets his kryptonite fix will be coming onto the panel. Anyway, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do some how you doings, and we're going to talk about the coolest things we got this week, starting with Parts Former. How the hell are you?
I'm awesome. I'm filming from a new location on my couch where it's much more comfortable.
Me too.
Yeah, how about that? For my hauls this week, I got 3 things, so it'll be quick. Toy Dojo in stock. It's the Ocular Max Remix Series Jaguar. Which is awesome. I love this little dude. He's very posable and has a lot of attitude and sharp teeth.
If I can interject,
play music.
Friend of the show and last week's guest, Kevin Womack, has already observed that T-Man is scared of thunder.
His tail is between his legs. You just can't see it.
You look pretty close. He could use a thunder buddy.
Nah, Kevin would be a bad thunder buddy.
No, he's probably getting ready to type, oh, fuck that. All right. Parts, back to you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay, because I also got the SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball Broly Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, who is now in a Super Saiyan God mode, grabbing the cross and giving the thumbs up. So
that's easy for you to say.
Yeah, that's
I remembered all that, so I'm going to award myself 1 figure action point for that.
Kevin totally typed fuck that. I should give myself some figure action points for calling it.
I can award that, but I can also take them away, so no sass. The last thing is the best thing. I got a fully posable, life-size Joe Craft. No ab crunch, but it's got elbow joints. It's got interchangeable face. I'm not going to pull it off right now.
Is he
It looks worse in person.
Like a face
down here. How about you articulate that?
Yeah, it's not impressive.
No?
Boy, I'm glad I didn't tell the mean jokes.
You guys were very well behaved.
That implies that you have jokes.
Look at Dave's face.
I thought he was turning it off.
I thought he was. So that's my haul for the week.
It's the best.
He brought the strong.
The receipt, so if it doesn't work out.
So Nate Simmons asks, no SOC Voltron yet?
Tomorrow. He's coming tomorrow.
All right, Joe.
Dave brought the strong to you tonight.
Joe, since you're there, how the hell are you?
Live on location. I don't have much.
Does he have a? Do you have an SoC Voltron?
I don't, and I don't have an Android 21, but I did get these two.
Oh.
Very nice.
These two dudes.
Oh, very nice.
Did you go there to make sure it doesn't really have the Android?
You know what? I thought he really had one, and I was totally like ready to steal it. And I walked downstairs, and I was like, I just want it because it's not here.
Apparently,
I was going to go into Barnes & Noble today and pick one up because it said that the one in Bel Air that I go to has them in stock. So I went there, went to try to find it, couldn't find it. Went to the chick behind the counter and said, hey, your website's showing it's in stock. Could you help me out? And she goes in the back for a few minutes, comes back out, and she says, yeah, it was probably stolen. Yeah. So that's why I ended up with this guy. I'm like, well, I'm not leaving here empty-handed. So I got him.
Did you at least get him on sale?
I was going to have it.
You were going to get it from me.
I was gonna get it for
And
you.
then you were going to keep the one that's coming in the
I was
mail
gonna keep the
tomorrow.
ones coming
That
in
would have
the
made
mail
a lot of sense.
So Kevin, he's warning you to get out. You're going to die. He believes that Matt is a serial killer. But if you look at Joe's shirt, it's obvious that he did fulfill killing Superman.
Yes. Mission accomplished.
I always thought that Joe was the serial killer.
I mean, it's interchangeable.
Matt's neighbor, by the way, totally like saw straight through my secret identity. He's like, "Oh, you're Superman, huh?" And I'm like, "How did you know?"
Oh my God, I hate that.
It's a true story.
It is a true story.
That happened to me at the hospital. I had on that one of those shirts, and everybody had to comment. Like, oh, that's a big responsibility. I'm like, oh yeah.
Why did I just picture Cleveland Jr. saying that?
My neighbor was like, "Oh, you got a Superman shirt on? Yeah, but you like Superman?" It's like, "Well, that's okay."
Yeah. He was like, I bet you that was your favorite cartoon character as a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me. Years ago, I went into a Kmart, and I don't miss Kmart at all because every time I went in Kmart, like you paid cash and a little bit of dignity. And I was just wearing a South Park shirt, and this was like the early 2000s, like probably like 2000. And the girl behind, the girl with the cash register goes, "Oh, I bet I know what your favorite show is." And I was like, "Well, actually, it's The Simpsons." And she goes, "Oh, I bet you like that Bad Boy Beyond, don't you?" And it's like, "No, I like Homer." And she just goes, "No." And that scarred me from going to the Kmart for I was embarrassed for her. And yes, I just did not go into and yeah. And then after that, when I finally did go back into a Kmart, like 2006, it was like a grenade went off in the store.
It probably did.
It probably did. True Star Screamer. How the hell are you?
I'm doing-
Sorry. I'm gonna mute until you're over. Sorry.
I'm about to say, anything else you'd like to interject right now?
He's gonna fart.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
As long as he's not like opening up another package. Anyway, doing pretty well this week. It's hot as hell in North Carolina, so I haven't been able to get too much done because every time I go outside, I decide to sweat off a pound. But aside from that, I mean, that storm's coming down here, and that's my crazy week. But did get some cool things. I'm not going to go into everything, but I'm going to probably go just to my top 3. Just arrived in today. I did get my Revoltech Ironman, which I've been jonesing for quite some time. I cannot wait to really get to
Open
closing
it.
on this guy. I will. I will put my camera on mute, and I will open this up a little later. Also, I did get my Storm Collectibles Baraka,
How is he?
and then very cool,
Barakalicious.
very well balanced. Joints are a little tight, but aside from that, I really don't have any complaints about him. First of all, it's nice just not getting a ninja from Mortal Kombat. I mean, just plain
Yeah.
and simple. But this really makes me more excited about other figures from the line, the non-ninja stuff. And actually, some of the Street Fighter figures I've got in order. They're similar bodies to this. I'll be very pleased.
Nate says it's like the fans' toys squeak right there.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the fan toys, but yeah. But lastly, now this is not something I bought per se. This is more something I made, and that is my custom painted MCU War Machine.
Very nice. Hold
So
it up.
if you guys follow me on my Instagram, you'll see some good pictures of this guy. Hold on, I gotta get that skull lined up. I'm actually very pleased on how this turned out because I was originally just going to try to paint a Punisher skull on it, but I was looking at the flow of the armor, and I think this turned out a lot nicer.
Does Punisher call himself War Machine?
Well, it's just Punisher in the War Machine armor.
What does he call himself? Just Punisher?
Frank.
That's very anticlimactic.
Not the worst I've dealt with this month when it comes to that. No, anyway. I mean, I took the whole guy apart, put a base coat black on it, and then I dry brushed the body with a metallic color, and then I painted the skull pattern on here and the skull pattern on here, and then I went through the details with black just to kind of reinforce the skull pattern on it. So
good job.
This is my first like custom paint job on a full figure. I mean, I've painted the Professor Xavier chair, I've painted some of the motorcycles, and I did that Silver Surfer all in silver. But this is my first time of trying to go turn one character into another character, and I am pleased with this. It's not the best paint job. It's not a professional one. Yes, the paint's a little chunky with some of the brushes, but damn it, I'm proud.
You always take some thinner and smooth it out a little bit. But otherwise, I think the consensus is he did a great job on that one.
Yeah, true Starscreamer customs.
It's my first. We'll see if I come with any others, but
there's your first customer.
We'll see if I might be. My guy might be going up for trade. I'm not sure, but one of the things I did like to do, I put like I based some of the deco off the Hot Toys, which the Hot Toys one had kill stamps on it, so I just put like a little tally marks down the leg. So I am very proud of this figure. Oh yeah, and I got Colossus Juggernaut. Yay!
How's the paint on that Colossus?
On the Colossus. About to say on the paint on this. I just told you about that. Paint's pretty good. My only issue is actually I had some QC issue with this knee. That's my major complaint. Everything else, this is you need this. I'm sorry, if you're collecting X-Men, you need this. The Juggernaut's really nice too. Don't get me wrong, but this is the Colossus we've been waiting for. So.
All right.
You
still there, Zero?
I'm still here. Well, we got to do you first.
Yeah.
That T-Man, what'd you
Kinky.
All I got was Junkrat from Overwatch. He is interesting. I did a review if you want to learn about him. I probably talked too long on that review. But outside of that, I got a few of these Gundam Micro Wars sets right here. This is one of the mobile suit figures. That's chibi. You can actually open it up and pop the head off and put these little dudes inside of there, which I really bought the sets for. And I was doing stuff like putting them inside of my Siege figures like Hound and whatnot. You see that? Focus on them. I hate the way this thing reverses the camera. I don't know which way to put my hands.
We can see them.
But yeah, honestly, that's all I got. Junkrat and
What else did you get, T-Man?
Nothing.
You didn't get Annnnd 21?
I had her last week.
Oh, that was last week. All right.
Remember me parading her on the screen every few seconds?
Yeah. I'm still recovering.
But that's it. What did you get, Zero, and how are you?
Well, first off, I'm doing pretty good. I got back from my trip in Newark, Delaware. So I was up there a couple of days this week, and I'm getting ready to go to Chicago next week for work. So that should be fun. And but I'll be back here. I'll be back here next week. Of course, as you can see, I'm actually broadcasting from the toy room now, which was my intent for a while. But yeah,
I thought you were gonna say toilet.
the toilet. No, I'm not. I am not my good buddy Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, because I know he'd probably set up a new show, Toilet Time with Deluxe. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
You're on a lot of shows.
I was not that many.
I saw your picture on the TKO podcasting the other day.
I did do a guest spot a couple weeks ago.
Excuse me.
One second here.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I forgot to promote it, but I was on the TKO podcast. It's actually my third go round as a guest there. My second solo, but I did their anniversary show last year as well. So that was good. It was a fun show. Go to the TKO podcast. I can get you the show number that I was on.
I don't like podcasts.
They're on YouTube.
Unless I'm in them.
But I did get, courtesy of our good buddy Lance Park, I got a figure that I don't think very many other people have, and that is the movie masterpiece Jazz.
I don't have it.
Lance sent this to me, and I don't know where his distributor is. I don't know how he got this thing so early, because literally nobody else except for some people in Asia have this guy right now. And I feel
get a team in. Let him scoop the review.
Well,
his gun is upside down.
Well, here, let me right side up his gun. But while I'm happy with the figure, the tolerances are all over the place. I had to do shock oil because the one collar piece here, just out of the box, was stuck, and I had to work some shock oil in there, courtesy of T2RX6. He's got some guides for applying shock oil to your figures. The only other time I've ever had to do that was on the Fans Toys Dracula. So this piece moves now, but it doesn't move all the way, but it moves enough for the transformation to go where it's supposed to for robot mode and for car mode. But yeah, so be careful. Some scary tight parts on this guy, but otherwise, like I said, he's pretty cool. He does have the gimmick where he comes in half, and you can actually plug an effects piece onto him. I have Megatron over there. Maybe later in the show I'll grab Megatron. But yeah, you can totally make Jazz up to look dead. And of course, you also get a very nondescript looking
Jazz.
Oh, Jazz. The visor actually works too. Like, you can actually, much like the Human Alliance one, pop the head open, fold the visor down, and give him a unvisored look. Should probably sell my Human Alliance one now that I have this. Much like Joe, I also got the Skywarp, and I think he is the best of the three.
Yes.
I do need to go and swap Thundercracker and Starscream's face, because it's so weird to have Thundercracker with a smirk and the other two with stoic faces.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'll talk about too is the other Amazon 2-pack with everybody knows I love G2, and I had this on pre-order, and I just really didn't realize it was so this showed up the day after Skywarp, and so fortunately, crap, what is this guy's name?
Red Pants.
Red Pants.
Nate will tell you in the comments.
Yeah, Nate, if you've got
Hold him up again.
he was the two tapes that combined in G1, the two
Slam Dance.
Slam Dance, thank you. So a lot of people are having issues with his left foot breaking off. I got fortunate with my copy of the figure, but I just I didn't get this set for Slam Dance, because a straight up repaint of Flywheels, or whatever they renamed Flywheels.
Skytread.
Skytread. There we go. I got it for the G2 Sideswipe, and he is amazing. I absolutely love the fact that he's got like this metallic red. I guess it's just because it's translucent plastic with the silver underneath. But man, does it pop in person. The only thing I wish they had done is given him like a new face sculpt like they did for the Masterpiece with the gritting teeth. But all in all, I really dig it. I gave him what was it, Lio Kaiser? Man, I'm like totally floundering with Siege names.
Lionizer.
I almost said Lio Kaiser. I was like, that is not the right Transformer. But Lionizer looks awesome with him, and it's a good stand-in for his sword. And yeah, that's kind of it for me. Also, another Jetwing Prime, but that's about it. So,
how many of those do you need?
Everybody that knows me knows that I love Optimus Prime.
Right, but Jetwings. How many Jetwings do you need?
I need the animated one. I actually really do need that one. So if anybody out there is parting ways with that one, let me know.
I never got the Japanese animated figures.
Well, it was supposed to come out here. In fact, I think it did in small quantities.
What about that Bumblebee?
Well, it's like,
The undersea Bumblebee?
Yeah.
That I think it had American packaging, but it never officially came out here. And then the thing about animated was all the Japanese ones had like metallic paint on them for whatever reason. So there's Bumblebee there's Bumblebee in like the regular paint scheme, and then there's one where he's like gold, and that's the Japanese one.
what was that? And they also had a Blackout that we never got.
Yeah.
That made me sad. But he was little anyway.
Yeah, he was little, but I mean, he was an original mold. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, how stingy Hasbro is with original molds. But, there was a time where they would create original molds and they just didn't get domestic releases. And I mean, you think like Blackout was one, that Prime and the Bumblebee, the Jetwing Prime and the Undersea Bumblebee were others. I mean, Breakdown is the last one that I really remember.
I'm still hurt about Breakdown.
Yeah. All because they said it was too much to develop a new SKU. But I say let's get the show on the road, and we'll start talking about Hasbro. Hasbro got the master license for Ghostbusters. I can't say this came as a surprise. I think it's really exciting. And just kind of we go down the panel and get your guys' thoughts on this. Matt, I know you're a Ghostbusters fan.
I think I'm excited by that. Do we know anything beyond the fact that they got awarded the license? Do we know? I mean, it's obviously going to be a new movie tie-in.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, I hope we get some classic stuff. I hope we get new movie stuff, assuming the new movie's good. I hope they totally ignore the reboot movie stuff.
They will.
You know what I want? A Stay Puff.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I know there's an SH Figure Art Stay Puffed, and that thing is ridiculously overpriced.
Yeah, and that should be really
so
cool.
I'm hoping that they kind of treat this as like a Legends line, like kind of like what they do for the Black Series. Because there's
Power Rangers.
Yeah, and Power Rangers, because there's so many they could do. I mean, you have, of course, the 4 core Ghostbusters, and then you can do them in their Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. I mean, there's the supporting cast, there's the monsters. You can do Janine. Janine is a Ghostbuster. Lewis is a Ghostbuster. I really want them to do the real Ghostbusters. Oh, yeah.
A $50 Stay Puff like they do that big Overwatch dude. I keep forgetting his name.
Reinhardt.
I would love for them to do the real Ghostbusters ghosts but in a real life style, like the Boogeyman or Sam. If they made a Sam Hain from that cartoon and made that in like a real life style, that would be absolutely awesome.
I mean, the real Ghostbusters had Cthulhu on it, so
They did.
They did.
I'm just throwing it
Did
out
they
there.
do the real Ghostbusters, the cartoons figures though?
They did, but let's have Hasbro.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I would like them to do
Yep.
image the real Ghostbusters, but real life.
Say that again.
More realistic.
Like kind of like what they did for the Rebels characters in Black Series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I think is most exciting is, with Marvel Legends of the Black Series, we have props. I mean, if they were to do a ghost trap, a PKE meter,
$300.
it doesn't have to be that much, but I'm just saying, like the the Black Series stuff and the helmets and all.
What if Dave was frozen like that in real life?
That would greatly amuse me. But I'm also excited too about like the potential for effects pieces with these figures, because I mean that's one of the things that really hasn't been nailed with Ghostbusters toys. I mean in the 80s and 90s, like the real Ghostbusters toys, like if you think about it, a lot of them that was like kind of like a staple for effects pieces. Like all of the proton packs, they had like the beams coming off.
Yeah, the neutrino wands had that thing where you could spin the end and the beam would spin on the end.
Oh,
That was good stuff, man. I like that.
Yeah, that was like so iconic to me when I was a kid, to get the 4 Ghostbusters and then get the get all the you of course don't cross the streams, but having all those and like aimed and touching it, whatever monster of the week I had.
I think that came during the time period where I was too old for kids. I mean, too old for toys.
Too bad you're never too old for kids.
Especially when you say it like this.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
No, my cousins were 6 years younger than me, and they had a whole bunch of stuff. So I experienced Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers with the flip-up head and some of the Ghostbuster stuff going over their house.
So I wasn't aware Matty Collector already did the Ghostbusters props. I didn't know that.
if they did like you said, the Marvel Legends prop collection, if they did, I would just want a ghost trap. I would carry it with me. I'd take it to work, and I would be ready at any given point. I'd have it at the gym. That's a scenario where I wouldn't carry the ghost trap with me.
I don't know. I think you might get like thrown in one of those padded rooms.
As long as I have the ghost trap with me.
You just see like Matt going around like in a hospital. Someone's like, "Grandpa, no!" He rolls the ghost trap in.
See? I could wait right outside the ER. In critical cases, I could follow.
Oh shit!
Oh, damn it!
And then like they're like, "Sir, what are you doing in here?" "I'm afraid of no ghost." And then you'll walk out with a smug look on your face.
Yes, and Nightwing says a PKE meter. Yes, definitely a PKE meter.
Yeah, definitely they should do all those. I think
it's gonna be a bunch of slime. I bet you.
They had that back in the day. You remember that? The slime and canisters. In fact, the fire station had a gimmick where it came with slime. You could dump down the middle of it, and it had like perforations in every floor, and it would just ooze down.
And slime is back in style now.
Now, could you see that being a Hasbro like a HasLab thing where they do like the
fire station,
a fire station, or a Stay Puft that's in scale with the Ghostbusters?
I think it would be as successful as a Unicron.
Well, I think it would be as successful as Cookie Monster.
Well, I don't know. Like if they did a Stay Puft, I think I think that's where they're like missing the mark too. Like again, I think there's still hope for Unicron. We can get into that next.
But Stay Puft wouldn't have to be that much.
No, it wouldn't. Like to do like a big vinyl or a big
make it soft.
Yeah.
Make it out of
have that same skeleton.
It does have to have the same skeleton as Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster, yeah.
That's true. You could have a kit. Buy your own pack of marshmallows and take this Stay Puft kit and make your own Stay Puft marshmallows. There you go.
Fun and edible. He's fettable.
Ants all through the house.
Oh God. They probably like get in trouble with like FXX or FX, and like they steal the tagline. If you want ants, that's how you get ants. It's Stay Puft.
There's something to be said now that the most exciting Ghostbusters toys on the market right now are the what are they called? The Playmobil or the toys for kids.
Yeah, but those are pretty cool. Like if
they
you
are. That's what I'm saying. Though is that they're actually nice enough to consider as an actual collector to get those.
Like the vehicle.
Yeah.
And the building.
Well, the Ecto One looks exactly like it's not chibi or anything. It's in scale. It looks good.
Yeah.
And their Stay Puft looks good.
And to acknowledge it, Dave's internet died, so just in case anybody's worried about him. The internet died, not him.
Oh God.
The internet had a stroke.
Matt's got his ghost trap or hypothetical ghost trap ready for Dave's internet.
Yeah, well, we're going to be selling Dave Memorial T-shirts in our shop, so please keep an eye out for that.
What would his ghost be? It was something about puns.
Oh, if he were here, God rest his soul, he could come up with one real quick.
It would probably just be like a transparent version of Dave with like a little Slimer style tail. And he's got like the Punisher shirt on, and they're like, that makes no sense. I'm the Punisher. And then Matt's ghost trap just goes.
I would just put him in the ghost trap, and I would just seal that shit in the containment unit. When Walter Peck came around, I'd tell him to go fuck himself, and you're not letting these ghosts out.
Nate says it's Starscream's ghost, but with memes. No, that's Matthew Deluxe Baldwin.
Kevin shared a picture of the props with me, but I don't know how to share on the phone.
Oh, the Matty Collector ones?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So there's some more breaking news.
Oh God. See that's pretty funny. Choose your inform or destruction kid.
I don't know. I'm excited. I think as long as they do a good enough job like they do with the Marvel Legends and the Black Series stuff, if they pay that much attention to it, and then with the photo reel especially at a $20 price point, or even $25 if you're going to have effects pieces. So it's very throwing me that you're just kind of here and like nodding along. Well,
so I know
very
Dave put the next one on there, so we might wait for him to get back. We'll hold off on.
You know what? If he cared to talk about it, he'd be there with us.
Well, it's NECA, it's Predator, and it's Green Lantern.
There he is.
There he is.
Huh.
NECA brought him back.
What NECA? What? Where?
So we were just about to talk about that NECA 2-pack, the Predator 2-pack with the Yellow Lantern.
I think that thing's super cool.
Oh no.
His internet, you can tell
He's
how
only half alive.
I'm almost convinced he was doing it on purpose.
He looked like the frame rate in the Nintendo 64 version of Turok 2.
Of what?
Turok 2.
Nintendo, don't worry about it.
Nintendo 64 version of Turok 2.
Oh yeah.
That game would get down to like 8 frames a second when the action got really intense.
And then the fog of war was like ridiculous. You couldn't see anything. That was
I need to download that. It's on the Switch. Turok 2.
Yeah, for $20.
You don't have to buy everything they put out.
I read the comic.
Yeah, you had to because the game sure didn't tell you anything. Did it have a story?
Turok 2 did. Turok 1.
That's what I need to know.
I just remember you were just an Indian and you're shooting dinosaurs. Well, a Native American and you're shooting dinosaurs.
On record, you said it.
Well, back in the 90s, it was still an Indian.
Okay.
But yeah, that
ability to share.
That NECA SDCC exclusive. Right?
Yeah.
The Yellow Lantern one.
With a Predator.
That was NECA?
He's Sinestro Core, yeah.
Yeah, he was basically that was like a little Easter egg cameo in the back of one of the Green Lantern comics where the Sinestros Corps attacked, and like in a small panel in the background, there was a Predator that was a Sinestro Corps.
It looks like is the back laser being summoned by the ring. Is that what that? It's like an effect piece that's his back-mounted laser. If we,
I think that and his staff is a ring construct.
I didn't know it existed. There's a green, basically or a yellow lantern, right?
Yeah, he's a predator.
But a predator? That's crazy.
do you know?
And it comes with Green Lantern, too.
Well, I know DC ship. I didn't know there was a predator lantern. I know there was a squirrel.
It's my mine.
And a whole
My
planet.
screen shared up.
Yeah, if you bring it up, I'll post the screen share.
All right. Yeah, I've got it up now.
Giggity.
Why are you Googling how to be a predator?
I don't have to Google.
Sometimes you just want to know you're doing everything right. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff here. I like the fact that it's both Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Those effects pieces are actually pretty badass.
Is that okay to do that?
What?
To just swap the head and like now I'm a black guy?
Well, that's what the figure does.
They don't change the costume either.
From the clavicle down, I guess it doesn't matter.
I
But
guess it doesn't matter. He's wearing
that's not what
gloves
I
and shit,
hear,
so you
but
can't
okay.
see.
But, yeah, this is some pretty impressive photography for.
It's not sharing, by the way. Not for me.
I don't see it.
Yeah, you're not sharing, man. And sharing
Here,
is
what I'll do-
caring, man.
I'll throw it in the chat. So, actually, here I see it.
Someone else will have to bring it up because I can't.
Nope,
see
I've
the letter
got
on
it.
No.
I've got it.
Oh,
There
there
we
we go. So you were saying share shit. You saw that and you never clicked on it?
It was down
You
there.
son of a
I
bitch.
just ignored it. I have a lot of power.
You do. You have too much power. I see.
There we go.
With all that power, I had to stop making mom jokes to him.
Super black screen.
Yeah, that's what I see.
All right, here. I'll just go ahead and I'll give you the link in the
Change
chat.
your head so it's a white screen.
So if you all use the power of imagination, imagine a predator in yellow,
Or just go to Toy Arc.
or just go to Toy Arc.
So
With the
uh,
yellow lantern symbol on his chest.
is that like Epstein in a yellow
Predator.
Yeah. Is that?
He did.
Oh, he's dead. No, he ain't dead.
I heard that guy was a real pain in the neck.
Hillary didn't think so, but whatever.
You do realize that putting that particular chat is just the private chat, Zero.
Yeah, I know that. I was putting it in there so that Matt could share it
Does that work?
Wow.
It
since he's
doesn't
the
work like that.
share master.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, if you could turn back time.
Yeah, it won't let me click on it.
Hold on, let me try something. Y'all talk amongst
We
yourselves.
here at Figure Action are consummate professionals.
I don't even know what that means.
What is consummate?
Yeah,
That
this-
sounds
this
like a
is big
dirty
word.
word.
Now it's in the doc.
Hold on, it's
Something
We're
that
so professional that your phone is on 15% halfway through.
all right. Hold on, I got it. Screen share.
It's a good thing I don't have to. It's a good thing I don't have to look at the doc to know what we're talking about. It's almost as if I wrote it.
Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yes,
I-
we can.
There we go.
All right, there we go. We've got a construct of the blade that was used with the Celtic Predator, a construct version of his staff, which I used to know the name of that one, and of like a machete sword.
And is this $50?
Yeah, which that plus the Green Lantern, and those Green Lantern effects are absolutely gorgeous, and that would be totally worth $50.
That's the ring summon. That's what I was talking about there. The backpack on Predator. So I thought that was
Is that his blaster thing?
yeah, is his like his
Oh yeah, that's
seeking
better.
laser
A better
thing. Yeah.
picture of it.
Oh, the plasma caster is a construct. That is awesome.
That's those are the words. And this one is very much Green Lantern middle finger. Like this is like fuck you, Predator. And look at that. There you go. It's from white dude to black dude.
You know, this is 2019. I mean, I guess you can just self-identify as a.
Well, Hasbro's been doing that forever because Bucky Cap can be anybody.
Okay, there's a forum for that.
Yeah. So there's I'm just scrolling through. If y'all are done talking,
and that is gorgeous photography. I may have to find somebody to get me that.
Yeah, that does look awesome.
It does. You are one ugly son of a bitch.
Wait, that's going to be next year?
Well, New York Comic Con is what, February
New York
usually?
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Here's the blurb about it.
That's only like 6 months away if you think about it. That's not too far.
You know, all the merch that came out of SDCC. I wonder if NYCC is going to have like the same level. You know, I mean, you think about it. We got all the we got the Slim Jim, Macho Man. We got all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. They usually get some, depending on the manufacturer. Like NECA, for example, Mezco drops some phenomenal exclusives for New York Comic Con. You know, those Punishers that everyone was seeking, those were all New York Comic Con ones.
Yeah.
And then Storm Collectibles. Oh, Jesus, I just faded out. Storm Collectibles. Ermac was a New York Comic Con exclusive, I believe. No, Smoke and Rain were New York Comic Con exclusives. So, yeah, they some people put some decent stuff up there.
Excellent.
We should go to New York.
I think we should.
Yeah, we should do that.
I think we should drive to Chicago again.
No, we don't do that.
Did you almost stop being friends?
Yeah, tell us about it.
We were okay. We never fought or anything like that, or got each other's throats or dicks. We just went on and
wait. Got each other's throats or dicks?
I mean, we were scared to bed.
I said what I said.
Yeah. I mean,
Matt just handed him a rag and asked Joe if it smelled like chloroform, and the rest of the ride was peaceful.
Didn't know what it smelled like, so
I don't remember half of it.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, you got all of it. Anyway,
But I remember the last half, and it was anyway.
Driving at night sucks.
You know, we don't have any like major movie news to talk about, do we?
We do. We do. If we want to, unless we want to go over the Super 7 stuff first.
I don't even know what that is.
But we could talk about the MCU.
I think they're going to make a deal because they need Spider-Man.
Well,
wait, is something happening with Spider-Man?
If they keep using Tom Holland, his story is so intertwined into the MCU, and I think Marvel probably did that on purpose.
We'll rewind a little bit. For anybody that doesn't know, Sony and Marvel got into it this week. And allegedly. And there's a lot of reason to speculate that it was allegedly anyway. And they apparently couldn't reach a deal. My understanding is that originally Marvel Studios and Disney were getting 5% of the earnings from the Spider-Man movies, and they wanted 50%. Then I also understand that Disney has the licensing rights for the merchandise for Spider-Man, which is a big deal, especially if you're a Star Wars buff. You know how important the merchandising was to Star Wars. I mean, the fact of the matter is, in comparison to the merchandising, the movies didn't make shit. The movies made a lot of money. So anybody correct me if I'm wrong on any of those facts, but
I heard that Marvel made nothing off the movies. Like zero.
But
they do get 5% of the gross.
Yeah.
But they don't finance any of the production costs. And I think what the deal was that they tried to make was that we'll 50-50 the production cost, but we get 50% of the gross. Which up front sounds fair. If you're going to put up half the money, you're going to get half the
Yeah.
growth. But if you're Sony, you have 100% of the rights. You're already getting 95% of the gross. So why would you want to give up 45% of your gross?
Exactly. And you know, the other thing too is people forget two things. One, in the late 90s, Marvel was on the verge of bankruptcy. I mean, and I mean it. Like, they were
Oh yeah.
really on the verge of bankruptcy. So Universal and New Line and Sony kind of bailed Marvel out of the whole, and Fox, especially Fox, bailed Marvel out of the hole they were in. Sony had the rights to get more, but they're just like, well, Spider-Man is the most lucrative character. I mean, he is the Superman of, you know, to what DC has. He's the Superman, Batman tier character, the A-lister. And regardless of what anybody thinks in retrospect of the Raimi and the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man doesn't need, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but Spider-Man does not need the MCU to make a successful movie or tell a successful story. He's got his own cast of allies and villains. I mean,
That's not opinion. That's fact.
it is.
Oh,
fact.
I agree completely.
Wire movies can point
And-
that
Yeah,
out.
it's just like Batman. Batman has his own universe.
Yeah.
You don't even need Superman or anybody.
And again, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but if you think back, Enter the Spider-Verse, not part of the MCU, and I think Sony looked at that and went, we can make a Spider-Man movie that is outside of the MCU, and it can make a crap load of money, and it can be self-contained. And, you know, like Joe said, for them to give up 45%, or really for them to give up 95%, I mean, you know, it's a cash cow for them. Disney has a shit ton of money right now with all the properties they have. I think if I were Sony, I would have been insulted. I would have been like, no, you know, fuck off. You know, that's, you know, this is our cash cow. You could argue, well, you know, they could have made billions together, but I think Sony would rather make billions on their own. I think they'd rather have that that ace in the hole. Because, I mean, let's face it, I'm sorry, but the Phase 4 stuff just does not look interesting. And I think there's going to be a drop-off in the MCU. I think ticket sales are going to decline now that Iron Man's gone, Captain America has changed to Sam Wilson.
I was just getting ready to say, I think there's a Robert Downey Jr. factor to this. If he was still in it, I think Sony would have had more incentive to work with them, because having him come into their movie sells tickets. But he's not around anymore. And some of these other characters coming in, like Nick Fury coming in, or what, I don't know, who else would you want to bring into a Spider-Man movie from the MCU? They're not going to really put butts in the seats.
I mean, really, the thing
Fantastic
everybody
Four.
would want to see is, yeah, exactly, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the X-Men.
Yes.
But, you know, I think Sony's play here, they've kind of got
Only if they make a movie of Spider-Man teaming up with Iceman and Firestar.
yeah, right, his amazing friends. I think
Exactly.
The thing is, like, they've built Spider-Man up to be the next Iron Man in the MCU. And I think what Sony did, you know, people are calling them greedy here, but I mean, yeah, again, they're protecting the asset that they have that makes them money. They don't want to give up on that money, and they want to hold on to it. You know, and in the event that the MCU ticket sales decline, which they very well could, again, Phase 4 just does not look interesting to a lot of people. And I know there's MCU diehards, but you know, I'm sorry that it is what it is. I mean, if you go on and you look at the general consensus of people, I really think that there's going to be a decline until Guardians 3 comes out. I think
the only one I'm really interested in is Blade, and maybe Doctor Strange too.
And that might be Phase 5.
Thor's got following too.
He does, but
He's taking a back seat in that
yeah,
movie from what we hear.
Yeah, Jane Foster Thor does not sell comics. I mean, they're doing this trying to sell comics, but you know, Lady Thor doesn't really sell comics, and you know, putting Thor in the backseat and making him a bumbling idiot, I don't think that they're really gonna do much. Night Wingham's got a good point. Black Widow probably will be a heavy hitter. I think that'll be a movie that people will want to see. It's been long overdue for her to get a solo film.
Didn't they say Hawkeye?
Hawkeye might. I think they'll probably leverage the success of the Black Widow movie to make a Hawkeye movie.
You think that's going to be a big one, Black Widow?
I definitely think it will. People like Scarlett Johansson. They liked her character. They always wanted to know
I
more.
do.
I think that they did a good job in Age of Ultron, kind of like setting up her backstory. My understanding was that in Agent Carter, they talked about the program a little bit, and they really started to build towards something that they just never had the time to develop with her character on screen. But you know, back to Sony. I mean, people can be mad at them all they want, but I think what they're doing is smart, and I find it really funny that people side with Disney, and Disney just like slinging their dick made of money around when, you know, at the end of the day, Sony, you know, they don't have the capital Disney has, and they're trying to protect an asset that makes them money.
Here's the thing you have to consider, though. Before, and I think everybody needs to take a look at this and see, but before you do bash Disney on it, you need to check and see if you weren't already purchased by Disney. So if you personally were purchased by Disney, you're probably contractually obligated not to say anything poor about them. So just double check your legal paperwork before you say anything. And that's probably what a lot of people are falling into.
And all the people that are saying, why doesn't Disney just buy Sony? Sony is a huge company. You're talking, what?
Huge.
10, 12 billion probably?
Yeah, those are numbers.
Many billions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could buy Sony
They got
Pictures.
PlayStation 4.
Maybe not buy Sony technology.
Well, that's the thing, though, is I think Sony, you know, Sony as a whole, like they depend on, like it's my understanding that like Sony's tech division is being held up by PlayStation, and then they rely on their entertainment brands to kind of, you know, they're from, you know, they're
kind of fading, right?
Yeah, they're kind of a house of cards almost, but.
I mean, the only thing that would be crazier would be like if, you know, what's the other big thing? We had the Into the Spider-Verse, and then there's the Spider-Man video game. You know, if they like bought the rights for the company that made the Spider-Man video game, so that couldn't go anywhere else either. That would just be like insane. Yeah,
except for Sony already did that, and they already bought Insomniac Games, which is long overdue.
Segue.
Yeah. Insomniac was a second-party developer for Sony for a number of year. And I want to say it was after they finished Resistance 3 that Sony and Insomniac kind of like reached an agreement for the two of them to not part ways, but you know, Sony was like, okay, well, you can still develop Ratchet and Clank for us, but yeah, you can go off and do third-party games. And they worked with EA and they worked with Microsoft and.
EA.
I basically anytime I see a company work with EA, it's like for me that's like the kiss of death in The Godfather. Like it really is. It's like, you know, anytime a company goes like now BioWare is dissolving. But yeah. They made a game called Fuse. It wasn't well received, and then they made
BioWare's dissolving.
BioWare is apparently, from what I can understand from rumors, dissolving. The lead from Dragon Age 4 just like up and left the company, so not looking good for them. Not only that, but Anthem really kind of shook up a lot of stuff within BioWare, and you know. Anthem came after Mass Effect and Andromeda, and that was an undercooked game. So it's unfortunate, but you know, it looks like you know, BioWare may not have much longer, and it's a shame too. And you know, one of the biggest shames is EA holds the Star Wars license, and they had BioWare. Why? Why on earth wouldn't they just allow them to create Knights of the Old Republic 3? Makes no sense to me.
Did the other one sell good?
Oh God, yeah. So EA's whole thing is they're big about games as a service, and man, we've gone so far off base this topic, but there was a massively multiplayer online, an MMO game, and
Mhm.
it was just called the Old Republic, and it was the EA and BioWare joint effort, and it did okay, but it didn't do the numbers that EA wanted, and I think that's why they're just like, okay, well, yeah, we're going to refocus on Star Wars. Like they put monetization first over making a product that's going to be remembered and regarded, and that's like EA's biggest downfall. I don't think that
That's what happened with Battlefront 2.
Yeah, they put monetization first, and they didn't make a product that would stand the test of time. Meanwhile, they released the old THQ game, Battlefront 2, and guess what? People are still playing it. People are playing the 10-year-old game. Well, actually, shit, it's older than 10 years old at this point, because I want to say it came out 2005. Yeah, because it came out around the same, right before the 360 launched. But yeah, it's interesting times right now with Sony, to go back on topic. They bought the studio, and it's interesting too that Spider-Man, again, their stake in Spider-Man is they now have a first party game based off of Spider-Man. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, in the history of front runners and the console races, I don't think that there's ever really been anything like that I can remember. At least.
I didn't look this up, but I I heard that Disney still owned the rights to the video game version.
Well, I mean, so
they did have all that Avengers and Doctor Strange and all that. And
yeah, I mean, like, because Marvel Alliance 3, Spider-Man's a prominent character, and the voice actor from the Spider-Man PS4 game does the same voice for him. Miles is also in Ultimate Alliance. I mean, Spider-Man can appear in other games, but I'm just saying that it's an unprecedented thing that there is a first-party video game based on Spider-Man. And the last time I remember seeing a first-party game based on a Marvel property was back in the Genesis days when you had X-Men and X-Men 2, the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah. That game was hard as crap. I'll never beat either one of those. They made me mad. I think I made it to Mojo.
Yeah, when you beat Mojo, you had to reset the game.
Yeah,
what?
I hated that.
Yeah, when you beat Mojo, the game would glitch out intentionally, and you had to reset the game in order to escape Mojo World. It was kind of like unplugging yourself from the Matrix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Speaking of the Matrix, segue.
Right? Matrix 4 is apparently coming with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss.
You know, the crazy thing about this news is that apparently they're not. Lawrence Fishburne's not coming back. They want to recast Morpheus as a younger Morpheus, but yet Neo and Trinity are going to be played by Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves.
That's because Keanu Reeves is the same age.
That's true.
He did.
Carrie-Anne, she aged.
Well, she was just always a skeleton. I don't think skeletons age.
She looked older. And
did you watch any of the Netflix MCU?
Yeah, she looked older. She looked good from a distance, but when they got the camera zoomed in, it was like, whoa.
I'm wondering if they're going to do a thing like, you know how when you enter the Matrix, they say you take on like the ideal form of yourself.
Yeah.
If they're going to digitally de-age them when they go into the Matrix,
like they're going to do a Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Did that come out already?
Not yet. I'm looking forward to it.
There's so many movies that they say, hey, this is coming out. This is coming out. Then all of a sudden I blink my eyes and it's like, wait, it's already out on DVD?
Mm-hmm.
I never even remembered Aladdin coming out in theaters.
Me either.
It's a whole new world.
But it's interesting how well they de-aged Will Smith for that movie.
Wait, what were we talking about? We
Well,
just segued into something.
We were talking about the Matrix 4.
Oh, yeah, Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this episode really is figure action at the movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Can't find a babysitter. Haven't seen that. Can't find a babysitter. Haven't seen that. Can't find a babysitter.
I still haven't seen Far From Home.
I still haven't seen Homecoming.
Oh, that's pretty bad, Dave.
That's terrible.
You can watch that at home.
I still haven't seen the Goonies.
What are you
Really?
doing?
I don't know.
Parts one is not a real person.
I've met 2 of them.
I've only ever seen Sean Astin in person,
Nicest guy ever.
except for the fact somebody pulled the fire alarm on him.
Oh.
Yeah, T and I were
That's not
standing
his
there.
fault.
We were standing there listening to him talk, and then somebody pulled the fire alarm.
That was nice of them. They wanted to go home, probably.
Where's your fire alarm?
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious what they would do with the Matrix 4. Like, you know,
I don't know. If they're trying to do a young Morpheus, are they going to do like a
I've got a horrible idea of what it could be. You remember
Maybe
how
it's
at the end of the movie, how he got absorbed into the computer conscious?
yes.
So he becomes basically the next architect, and Carrie Ann Moss is one of his constructs. And so the young Morpheus is actually the true protagonist of it, trying to seek the one, and sees that the one is now part of the problem.
Well, all I know right now is we all know who the young Morpheus is going to be. It's going to be that. What's his name?
Right there.
Oh yeah, I seen him on YouTube. No, I was thinking of
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Let's cast him as everything.
Because he's got to be in everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's who they're going to get.
That'd be very much like Lawrence Fishburne.
They might as well do it. Nobody would be angry. They'd be like, "Oh, Michael B. Jordan, yay!"
It's not going to be him. Y'all know who it's going to be. It's going to be The Rock. Because he's in
Well, wait a minute. For like Ant-Man and the Wasp, who did they make the young Lawrence Fishburne? Wasn't it his son?
It was The Rock. Look at the credits. That was The Rock.
I thought it was Lawrence Fishburne. They just de-aged him.
Yeah, they de-aged everybody in that movie. They de-aged Michael Douglas. They de-aged Michelle Pfeiffer. And they de-aged Lawrence Fishburne.
I'd like a DH Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, like a Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Now go back to Scarface.
That would be pretty.
She needed a damn cheeseburger in that one, man. Like, she is too skinny.
Well, fortunately, I can cook a damn cheeseburger.
Emoji Movie too.
Emoji Movie too. Who wrote that?
TF fan page 101.
They cannot.
I didn't watch part 1.
Oh, there's your.
I don't know. No, Adam Sandler would be Agent Smith.
Morpheus.
Whitewashing.
No, Michael B. Jordan would be Agent Smith. That's what they do. I was going to say
That actually would be kind of cool. That actually would be cool.
Hugo Weaving can still be Agent Smith.
But yeah, I mean, I was going to say, watch the Wachowskis make this like a vehicle for Jupiter ascending.
Never saw that either.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Like the end, Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum show up.
Yeah.
Only being one of the Wachowskis.
It is, yeah. Laura?
Aren't they both chicks now?
They're both chicks.
Yes.
It's supposed to be Laura, I guess. Laura?
I think it was Lana.
Lana, okay.
I was gonna say the one that
Lana.
chick, but I guess they're both chicks.
Lana. Lana.
Yankovic.
Danger
We're not
Zone.
allowed to talk about that, right?
What
Wait.
has Al been up to? He needs to get back in the
How old are they?
I don't know, but,
Wachowskis.
like, I think the next thing they'll do is they'll like they'll become like surgically conjoined twins, and then they'll just be known as the Wachowski.
Careful, that might be the
Oh,
next
boy.
Zucker. Who are they? The Zucker brothers. That'll be their next movie.
Wait, you mean the Russo brothers?
No. I don't know if you remember. These are the guys who did Airplane. They also did the Naked Gun. They did the first Dumb and Dumber movie.
Oh, the Farley.
And then they Farley brothers.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah, Stuck on You Too.
But then Stuck on You Too. Exactly.
I was just thinking about what if, like, Jaleel White became, he was like Myrtle Urkel, but in real life. Permanently.
Got any tampons?
Oh, honey.
You know, it's funny. Did everybody see that whole thing? Like, so they're doing that Scooby Doo show where they're like back to doing like the celebrity guests like they had in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing like Scooby Doo meets Urkel, like 30 years.
Michael J. White needed a paycheck. Okay.
Jaleel White.
Jaleel White. They didn't ask him to voice Sonic for the new movie, so you know he was banking on that.
Yeah,
and that didn't happen.
They got B.J. Novak of all people.
Really?
I don't even know who that is.
He's in the office.
Yeah. He's Mindy Kaling's I almost said wife.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. Mindy Kaling is like one actress they've never found a successful vehicle for.
She's tried.
She's had her own show, hasn't she?
She's had several.
She's had like 2. I know the Mindy Project, and I can't remember the other one.
That's what I was thinking of.
I don't watch TV.
The Mindy Project, it actually got like 2 runs, like because it got like a Hulu exclusive run. Like when Hulu went, subscriber based or paid premium membership. You know, that was like one of the things that they pimped out on Hulu.
When did they get rid of The Office on Netflix?
I can't remember when they got rid of it. Kevin, how the fuck do I know all these random ass actors and actresses? My brain is like a sponge for useless information, and I guess that's handy in collecting, and it's handy for bar trivia. But
you act like he hasn't talked to Nate,
right? It's
like
funny,
he hasn't heard from me.
I really wish that I could have like this ability when it comes to technical information. Like when I'm studying at work, I have to like reread documents like 3 or 4 times sometimes just to get all of the, all of the information.
YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, YouTube tutorials and like even like a recipe, like like when I was making ribs for the first time with a smoke box, I like watched 3 different tutorials for how to use a smoke box on a propane grill, and I had to keep re-referencing it.
Step 1, push the propane grill aside.
Yeah.
Step 2, buy a charcoal grill.
Not everybody's made of charcoal grills, Dave. But I do want to pull one topic off the back burners. It's a slow news week. I've had this topic brewing for quite some time to get back to collecting, to get off of movie action, which could probably be a B-side. We didn't even talk about any potential merch outside of Ghostbusters. We're slacking tonight.
Sorry, well, I got cut off from my internet for the Ghostbusters thing.
Oh, well, I think we said all that could be said, but we do have a topic that is centric to something you like to do, and it's a round table. Sportman says propane's better. It's a round table discussion about whether or not you modify your toys, why or why not. And I already know the answer for Dave, and I already know the answer for Matt. So let's go around. We'll start with you, True Starscreamer. We know you modify a lot of your toys. What brought you to do it? And what's the kind of general feeling you get from doing it?
Well, I don't do too many modifications. I mean, the first one I think I started. I'm frozen on it. Did I freeze again?
We hear you. We hear you. And see you.
Okay. I don't do too much modification except for maybe some cosmetics. I think the first time I ever did like a hard modification was with RC when we got the Chug RC because she had like these pegs in her hand.
Yeah.
I'm looking for this.
Generation. She had these pegs. She had these pegs in her hand,
Yeah.
and so I just took a box cutter and heated up the blade and just sliced those pegs off of it just so I could get like a better grip. And then I think panel lining is where it really started off with. And then just finally, I've been tired of Hasbro not painting stuff. So there's a buddy of mine. You can catch him on his Facebook page, John Walker Productions. He does a lot more of 3D printed Star Wars stuff. But at the time, he actually did a lot of customizing Marvel Legends, and so he taught me some of his stuff. Just using the heat gun on popping the pegs out and stuff. And so I'm still getting into it. Like I'm not going to modify a NECA figure, for example. No way in hell. Some figures I am nervous to go near, but if it's something like on a Bucky Cap body, or if it's something like that War Machine where I really couldn't screw it up too bad, yeah, I'll attack it. Just to either get me what I should have gotten, like I did with the Professor X chair, or what I want to get, which is with this recent War Machine.
So have you ever had any figures that you went and they just weren't salvageable after trying to accomplish something? Not yet, but I've been very conservative on what I attack. Like I've only been doing like the Professor. I would say the one thing that scared me most was doing the when I painted the Professor X chair. That's still probably my most excessive one because that thing is a $50 figure. The War Machine, I was able to get that at Target for $18. I wasn't so scared about that. But once you kind of start on it, it's like, okay, you got to go forward, and you make it salvageable. So I haven't effed one up yet. Yet.
For me, Transformers, the most I do is like, when they started not painting rims and whatnot. Once silver Sharpies got popular, I definitely started painting that. And
oh yeah,
everybody modded Alternator's prow because the legs seemed to be backward. Like, remember the bumper used to be behind his knees and he could barely bend his knees. Let's see, I did the RC thing because he had that extra plastic in the hand.
It still doesn't make sense on that.
Yeah, and they even still did that to Nightbird.
And I didn't cut her.
Leader class, Dark of the Moon, Ironhide, his neck wouldn't rotate. But I heated it up with a hairdryer and twisted it, and it had head articulation. It's like they glued it for no reason. Maybe they glued it because they had like wires in there, but they actually designed it to have neck rotation, but it wouldn't work because they put glue on it. I haven't done any like humanoid action figures because I used to do that when I was early into collecting. Now I'm just too lazy. I get the stuff, play with it, review it, maybe put it on display or maybe store it somewhere. So I'm too lazy. But I can't think of any other modding I've done.
I can say the bulk of my modding is usually on Legends class figures because they usually need the most amount of TLC to get to I can specifically, I think the most modding about figures is DX9's Legends Class Dinobots. Those things were a mess, especially with joint tolerances between like having to put a little glue here and there or some core polish. But then like maybe having to shave off a bit of a tab or cut something back so it transforms more smoothly. Something that I guess getting it to where they intended it to be and not necessarily what they delivered in hand. But past that, like modding it to something
Yeah, I don't
different.
know if that's like really modding.
Well, but
Is
you're
that
also
mod?
there's a difference between modding and customizing, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like we're
like
like
putting the pins in Starscream.
that's a mod.
That's a mod.
That's a mod.
But,
Yeah.
but I don't know if putting floor polish is a mod.
Well, it's reversible, but I don't know.
I think of floor polish more as a fix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
That's what a lot of mods are too, though, is to fix. Like,
well, I
that's
mean,
what
I
I'm talking
kind
about.
of include customizations in the modifications, and I guess that was kind of how I really should have worded it. But
Like,
modifications and customizations, because I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that War Machine's customization.
That's a
Yeah.
meant to be painted.
I was gonna say I've like all the combiner wars I bought, they all got floor polish in their joints.
yeah,
Plain.
That's
I mean-
a base figure, and that's changing it from what you got out of the package. So I still would consider that a modification to it. Because if you sold it to somebody, I would feel that you'd have to say, yeah, and I thickened the joints on this, or it's not exactly the same as it was out of the package. That's kind of the way I think of it. Have you?
You know what mod?
changed it all?
When I was younger, one mod that I tried to do, but I was always unsuccessful. Micromasters, having the pin through the knees
Yeah.
so that the
Oh,
legs
yeah.
just stay together. I couldn't find anything where I could cut through the pin.
Right.
So I just gave up.
And then Joe brought up like the Sunstorm or like the Voltron kit. Like I don't know if I count painting a model kit's not really a mod. Would you agree to that? Agree with
No.
that?
No, that's what they're designed for.
though turning a model kit into another character.
Yeah, and you added like the effects. and-
Yeah. So okay. So the Sunstorm would be a.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, Sunstorm is that Sunstorm. That was a complete repaint.
That was a complete.
I can't say I really.
I mean, like when I
put the pins in Starscream. Panel lining here and there, but that I don't know if that's really a mod.
Panel lining, though, but I mean, the figure doesn't have panel lining, and it was a design choice to not add it, where you've gone and added it. I feel like, and again, if you were to sell it, that's something you'd have to point out
I
to
mean,
somebody.
I have a fear in my lack of ability
Of clowns?
in clowns, and I know that whatever I try. For example, talking about trying a mod or a repaint
Would you
and
modify
failing. Before this Vegeta came out, I tried to do a Super Saiyan Blue, like out of the actual, that guy. I tried to do that, and I did the eyebrows, and it looked okay from like 20 feet away. But when you got up close, like I was too much of a even though I have no ability and I really shouldn't be a perfectionist because I know it's never going to happen. If you zoomed in on it with a picture, like it had the slightest imperfection in it, it was trash. I threw the motherfucking thing away.
Mm. That's what Matt might do to Saitama when he gets it.
He chewed up a blue gum and smushed it on his head to make his hair blue. So that doesn't count.
I use paint in a real thin brush.
Yeah, but you chewed on it. I don't understand
I
why.
didn't chew on nothing.
Did y'all see that jet fire? Somebody looked like they threw a
Oh
bucket of
my
paint
God.
on it.
oh
Yeah.
god,
They
oh
tried to make
god.
it Star Saber, but it's like Star Saber
I
is
mean-
not green and Christmas colors.
They get an A for effort.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I was in the Marvel Legends forums, and somebody had taken this Colossus figure, and they popped the arms off, the lower arms off, and they put the previous Colossus figure's arms on there. And then, and one guy had said like you should stop collecting because of that. I'm not going to trash somebody for trying. But that jet fired a Star Saber. I'm sorry, man.
They really tried, man. Like that took some effort. Not some.
That takes some
sometimes-
effort, but that's like,
So
dude, that is the Challenger tragedy of customization right there.
yeah, I mean it's like you were saying, Dave. Like when you get to a certain price point with a figure, It's always like, man, I'm weary to make any changes to it. Like I don't
Some people don't
modify.
care.
I don't modify the bulk of my figures, and typically, if I do, they have to be at a very low price point for me to justify
Oh
it.
yeah.
As Joe was saying, like you kind of worry about like, well, what's the resale value going to be, and you have to, say to the person, that you made a change. With floor polish, I typically, I don't.
I wouldn't even mention floor
Yeah,
polish.
I've never mentioned it because it's like it's an undetectable thing, and the way I apply the floor polish, you never know that it was on there. You just think that the joints were toleranced correctly.
Breaking news:
Yeah.
scam artists.
Well,
But you're not gonna see me like, ooh, I'm gonna mod the soul of Chigokin Voltron. I think it needs that little tweak.
Somebody will.
Hell no.
Did y'all see all them cell shaded MP10s
Yeah.
and MAS primes?
Which is awesome. You know what? Those guys have talent, but you would never catch me doing anywhere near that.
I mean, I used to paint in Gundams back in the day, and I was pretty decent at it. And I remember my first Transformers related project was I had a spare Transmetal 2 Cheetor, and the reason I had two of them was because the original one that I had, of all the figures, the chrome started to flake off of his blaster. So I got one at Walmart on clearance for $5. And I thought, well, why don't I take and I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't bring myself to throw my original one away. So, I brought myself to, okay, well, I'll panel line it, and I'll panel line the, like the technical details. Cause I mean, he was basically like a lump of yellow and like purplish metallic plastic. And then like that Hasbro gray. And I was like, I'll panel line some of the details on him, and then I'll paint his claws, and then I'll paint cheetah spots on him. And when I got to painting the cheetah spots on him, it was just like, ugh, this looks awful. Why did I even try? And I think that's like one of the things that's really gotten me to, just kind of not try customization, on my characters. Now, I will say, when it came to Hasbro missing paint details, 2007 Bumblebee, I did take a silver Sharpie to both of their faces, because if you remember, like he had like missing paint apps on his face, and if you just took a silver Sharpie, it was like you got an instant dry brush effect on his face. And then when Hasbro stopped painting rims, I took a silver Sharpie there. Dark of the Moon Megatron, the first one, the Voyager class one, I definitely took a silver Sharpie to that guy. But outside of that, repro labels are pretty much all I do. And I just mostly put faction symbols on my third-party figures and call it a day.
Yeah, I think all of us do that.
There's a lot of people that don't, though. There's a lot of people that consider that to be modifying their toys, and either they're not willing to spend the money on repro labels, or they just they feel like they're and I've talked to some people that feel like they're damaging the figure.
I feel like certain ones are naked, especially that Mirage.
I'm kind of on that thing, like I don't want to mess with a third-party figure. If I just, again, spend a couple $100 on it, I don't want to take the chance of putting the emblem 2 degrees wrong and then just making it look stupid.
But
The stickers come right off.
They can come right off. I mean, hell, if I left half of them on as crooked as I initially sealed them on the figure, it looked pretty.
Actually, you know what would be better? If instead
I mean, I was scared to put the red crosses on my Ratchet when I first got him.
Oh no! Only figure that I had a problem with was the pre-production Masterpiece Hot Rod. Once you put those stickers on, it is permanent. Like if you even dream of taking the stickers off his chest, it will rip all that paint off because the paint was coming off anyway. I don't know if the full release version was that bad with the paint.
The full release version seems to have some sort of finish on it.
Yeah, because I didn't even know when I bought those that it was a pre-production sample till it came with no packaging.
Well, I thought I told you about that because Manolo was selling them.
Yeah, I didn't know till I got it. I was happy to get it, and they got me some views on my channel. So
I still remember Optibotimus coming in and being all like angry in your comment section.
No, somebody said like, "Oh, I like the quality of your videos." Something I've never seen. He's like, "Just wait" or something like that.
Mine will be in full high definition with better production values.
And you won't see a thing because I'll have my lights too bright.
Does he even have jazz yet?
I have not watched him in 2 years or 3.
You know what's sad is like sometimes like when I go to like see what's on his channel, I accidentally type up the bottom.
His name pops up sometimes when I'm trying to type Optimus Prime. Optibotimus always pops up first.
I don't think I've ever watched one of his reviews in full.
You have a sexy couch, Jordan.
Oh, I know.
Or he might be talking about Parts Plumber and Joe.
Give us a thumbs up for the bromance of Parts Former and Joe.
How many
Right
minutes
now,
away
you guys
do you
in the
live,
chat
Joe?
room, right now, give us that thumbs up for these two guys right here.
And
Give us the thumbs up, and they will slam their own kibosses for you.
Oh. So Sportimus says Optibotimus has his hands in the way of that toy. Yeah, I mean it's kind of funny to have this guy and just be like, yeah, I'm not doing anything with him other than enjoying him and ripping him in half. I love that feature's there.
How does that attach? Is that
it's
a magnet?
No, it's exactly like the X Transbots, Dead End, and
a little
Except that's
button.
intentional.
Yeah, Dead End, and what was the other one? Drag Strip and Dead End. Yeah, so it's just a little button right here. You press that in, and he comes in half. And then the Robo Guts, it's just a little effects piece that plugs into the connector port.
Does he come with that?
Yeah, he does.
I thought it came with Megatron for some reason.
Nope. He gets that effects piece, and then, like I said, he gets a Sam Witwicky.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, who is not articulated at all, and he comes on a stand.
That's my Human Alliance.
Oops. He's probably approximately the same size as the Human Alliance. The Human Alliance is painted way better. One of the things I don't like about this Sam is that he's basically one solid black piece of plastic with like flesh colored
hands.
Yeah, I mean, like even his hair is black.
Like he was
yeah, that's not accurate to Sam.
Hey, what did you do?
On camera?
Did he just break the Juggernaut in half?
I'm going to have to watch this.
That's
it's a Build-A-Figure.
Boom, boom,
Sorry.
boom.
I accept the Academy. I thank you, the Academy, for this award. But
if only you had
the Juggernaut's still on the Build-A-Figure, so you can still take him apart. And
I don't remember his waist coming apart though.
You know what? I wonder if this will work.
Does this one come apart?
Yeah, try it.
Yeah.
It did. You pissed it off.
You can't really do it to slam dance here.
You.
Is your MTO1?
You're part of my
Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, Rogue, Cyclops.
I will put the smirk on Skywarp.
You wouldn't put it on Starscream?
I will.
Starscream's always getting his ass beat. He's got nothing to smile about.
You can't smile when you're the new leader.
Skywarp is the best one.
I agree.
He has the tightest joints. Or the color.
It's the colors. There's something about this like black.
I always thought Skywarp looked the best.
Me too.
And purple.
I think it's because they used a different type of gray on him. Like it's not a drab gray. And then also the purple they used on him, it's not. It just pops. Like even on like this smoky colored plastic they use for his black parts, it just like completely pops on the wings.
But they still have the same siege splotches, right?
It looks
Yeah,
good
it's
on
the same
Skywarp.
stencil.
Plus, my Skywarp, his leg, he doesn't have the loose leg.
You have a loose leg?
That stencil
No,
thing is weird.
What leg is loose on your Skyward?
For
None
me,
of 'em.
neither of them.
Oh.
Okay.
You talking about Thundercracker?
Oh, you know what? Thundercracker's got a loose leg. but
Yeah,
I have,
Thundercracker has loose leg. Now that's something I fixed with floor polishes. I took out those 2 screws. These pieces come apart, and then I just took floor polish and I put it on the post. And
I haven't done it yet, but I thought maybe you could just tighten up the screw.
No, it doesn't work.
No.
No, what I think that they did, and shout out to Cheetamus. Cheetamus is a longtime customizer, original guy from the Allspark. His theory on a lot of this isn't so much with mold degradation, but the fact that they're using a lot of mold release gel on these figures, and something in the floor polish tends to like counteract the agent in the mold release gel, and it just tightens up joints instantly. So I just went in there and I cleared out that post. I cleaned it out really well. And,
Is that what Apollyon had on him?
I believe so, yeah.
That was caped on.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing too with Apollyon is we both got first runs, and I think that they were really trying to meet those numbers and the demand, so they were just like kind of like spraying the paint on. Because I remember him and Transistor both had like strong paint odors when you open up the boxes.
Yeah. It smelled like oil, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did it taste like diesel?
It did.
I didn't taste it.
No, you should have.
So you all think that this Skywarp is really nice? I know something else that's nice, and that's a third-party RC that had new pictures that came out this week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Someone
Nice
said the front of the car looks like a vagina, but I don't see
What?
it.
We got pictures. Somebody's looking into it too hard.
Someone is definitely, yeah.
Now, they haven't shown close-up pictures. I know in the prototype pictures or images, she had like a little slit on the crotch area.
I was thinking of all things, the alt mode, there'd be nothing to complain about because there's no tits hanging off of it.
You know what would be
And
great
then
is
he
if
says,
they
"Oh, it
modified the Volvo logo and just made it Volva.
No. No.
amazing.
No.
Come on, Dave. That joke is so your tier.
No, it's not.
No, that we all get tears from that.
That's
Do we have pictures of her?
Jordan, are you working on that now, or are you casting shadow like Batman?
I am casting shadow like Batman. So
Are you in the bathroom?
I'm about to be.
Okay, let me see if I can find
I have to keep touching the screen every 5 seconds. It keeps trying to turn off. And I found out when my screen turns off on my phone, y'all can't hear me, but I can hear you.
I've been talking. That's been happening to me the last 3 episodes. Haven't you been paying attention to me complaining? That happened to me twice.
Showed up.
damn.
Huh?
Do we know where those pictures showed up?
Facebook contains page.
Okay.
Don Tuck?
Them and TFW and T-Formers and everywhere.
Oh, it's on
Definitely
T4.
T-Formers. They keep reporting on that.
All right.
But people started coming in the comments,
I'll bet they did.
having stuff to say. Like, shut up and don't buy it.
There she is. I got her.
They call her Nicey. They say
I
she's
haven't
Nicey.
So there's 2 different. Okay, let me share. I'm gonna share my screen.
I can't wait to get that toy so I can play that Nicey song.
So there. So she has 2 different robot modes, right? 2 different configurations. This
You
is
can
the
put
one.
those sort of things on the waist, right?
Yeah. The. Can you see my pointer when I do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So they have the. Yeah. This is the classic RC with the. God damn it. with the different head. Let's see if they have pictures of there. So there's the alternate configuration with the pieces now at her skirt with the different head. And that, in fact, that version there looks red. I don't know if that's just.
I think they mentioned that about that in one of the comments about the coloring.
Do you know what they said?
That's not the official coloring.
Okay, so it's more akin to the car on the bottom left, I would hope.
It's supposed to be. These are all hand-painted prototypes.
So is this the vaginal area that they were pointing out? Is this the?
But there was other pictures of the
I can't see it.
Remember, there was pictures
Dude,
of the diaphragm in it.
Yeah, well,
Freud would have issues with them.
Yeah, so this, I mean, if this looks like the vagina that you are accustomed to, I would assume that a doctor's visit is probably in order.
Yeah. Either that, or you're looking in the wrong area.
That, or your flashlight is out of order.
You may not be positively identifying the vagina.
And please don't buy the MMC.
Now, the other thing to note is that I don't have the pictures here, but the recent picture from either today or yesterday points out that Diaclone figures can ride in her and possibly on her, but that's yet to be confirmed.
Giggity.
So there's a shot of the prototype. There's a lot of it's a lot of plastic right here, a lot of fake plastic.
Don't Google pictures of Transformers Prime, RC.
So Matt, has Joe begun pre-ordering another one of these at your home right now?
Wait, he's about to, but he's got to put his pants back on first.
What is that weird website we pre-ordered from?
I don't even remember.
I know
I've got one on pre-order.
She's on Show Z, isn't she?
Yeah, Show Z.
Yeah,
that's it. No.
Yeah,
you know what?
It was like, I don't know how much.
My question is, forget the robot boobs, forget the hips, forget any of that. Why the hell does she have a belly button?
Because
she does.
Why do people ask
born.
Why does she have boobs? Like it's why do they have fingers?
Why do they have teeth?
Why do they have teeth? Why does Bumblebee piss in the movie? Like why does Devastator have balls? I just think
the Devastator and balls part really bugged me because not one of his modes were wrecking trains.
Yeah,
it's because humans
there was
designed
no
it.
continuity in that whatsoever.
I also want to give a shout out to this table she's sitting on. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I like that table. There we go. Anyway.
What do you think that hole in that table is for?
Well, I think it's an accessory that can be used.
Yeah, Revenge of the Fallen had no continuity, period.
I like how Matt low key made a glory hole joke and no one's fazed by it.
I don't know if that speaks more about me or you all.
Yeah, we're just used to it.
Glory holes or the jokes about glory holes?
Both.
So, I mean, controversy aside, man, this
no
figure
comments.
is if they can deliver something as nice as this looks, like refinement-wise and design-wise, man, this is an awesome-looking RC. I am hype about this.
Now, do you think that they should continue with the anime girl who,
Windblade?
Yeah. Or do you think that they
If
should...
they made a Nightbird, that'd be kind of cool.
Like in an anime super buff...
I think they should do a sound wave with breasts.
Heck, though.
No. I said what I said.
Well, he would have a breast, not breast.
That ejects what, though? What would eject from the breasts?
Megatrans!
Up in milk cartons.
What if they did a whole line and every robot had breasts? There's no rhyme or reason. It's just they all did. Yeah.
So we could have
Regular
6
breasts.
figures, and they all have breastplates that all transform into weapons or guns. And we could take maybe 7 of them. The leader would have 2 of them, and then the other 6 they could combine into a larger. Wait, that's Victory.
See?
God, I'm a
There's
dork.
already a precedent
God,
set.
I am such a damn dork.
They can make
They could
Starscream
make a
into a,
mold,
yeah.
and the Seeker, instead of the intakes, it would have breasts.
Yeah, the Seekers are super feminine anyway.
Well, Slipstream, so that would make sense.
No, they all had breasts anyway, the Seekers.
You're watching that parody movie again. That's
No, all of them. When I was
the-
young, I used to be thinking that, like, because some stuff Starscream used to do was questionable to me. Like when he was jealous of Nightbird.
They got tits on them, but they got them like huge nipples, like the big.
Yeah. Ariel.
The air intakes. The air intakes. The missiles would pop out.
The Nat Geo
Oh,
subscription
yeah.
dinner plates.
Areolas.
Oh, I get it.
yeah.
I think we've been on too long. That's the problem. Hey, can we get some where you ats?
We should. We should do that. But before we do, just want to remind our audiences, I didn't ask in the beginning if you like what we're doing. Make sure you like that, hit that like button, and you can feel free to kielbasa slam that like button. I'm bringing that back.
I already did.
He did. He did.
I
say
was
that.
the originator of it.
Originator, yes, but I'm the one who brought
all
it
right,
back
let's-
tonight.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Hold on. Let's
read that.
The
Oh.
Temponicons.
My
I was
God.
gonna say, Dave, are
I'm
you
bringing
willing to
kielbasa
let-
back.
Are you willing to let Zero have half the rights to the kielbasa slam if he puts in half of the cost up front?
If you put half your kielbasa in and Jordan puts half his in, then you have an agreement
On a whole kielbasa.
on a kielbasa.
Yeah, don't be
Is that-
like Sony and Disney. Make a deal.
The question is this: is it going to be kosher?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Easy.
You're out of excuses.
Okay then.
All right then. We got a deal.
I just said. See, Marvel, this is how you do it.
You just keep it kosher.
Just keep it.
That's the bottom line.
Episode title.
Keep it
Does
kosher.
that mean we're gonna have a Jewish Spider-Man?
We could.
Oi.
Oy vey.
He doesn't save people on Saturday.
Spidey doesn't roll on Shabbos. And then Spider Pig shows up and it gets real fucking awkward. Or Spider Ham shows up.
Sausage fest. All of a sudden, it's a sausage.
I'd actually pay for that. I'd pay to watch that.
Well, there's subscription services out there. You probably could.
So anyway, T-Man, where you at?
I'm on YouTube World here and on my own channel, T-Man978. That's all you need to know. Let's go to somebody else. Who else? Matt.
No, Joe. When you're not in Matt's lap, where are you at?
Well, I'm here right now, but usually I'm not here, and I'm at my house, but also here on the internet on this stream.
The audience wants to know, is this a sleepover?
It is going to be a sleep.
It is gonna be a sleepover.
Yeah. I don't.
It's too late to go home.
King size bed, right?
No,
Oh,
I wish we did.
The scotch isn't flowing yet.
If everyone would like me to stream from Matt's house every week, let us know in the comments, and I will invite myself over every Thursday night.
He did get dinner out of the deal. I will say that.
Yeah, we had spaghetti.
Yeah.
Can we have meatloaf next week?
I don't like meatloaf that much.
Everybody had spaghetti.
It's okay.
God damn.
Remind me to like this video since I didn't go on the internet.
I'm going to have to, next time y'all are over, I'll make meatloaf.
What do you put in your meatloaf?
Uh,
Besides the aforementioned meat, yes.
Okay, so I take honey wheat bread, semi-stale, hand pick it, like in the breadcrumbs. I don't use prepackaged breadcrumbs.
From the mountains of Nepal.
Mountains of Nepal. I do carrots and onions, and just an 80-20 mix of ground beef. I do a little bit of I do maybe like a 3 tablespoons of A1 steak sauce is my secret. And then I use like the McCormick seasoning pack, which I basically think is just brown gravy mix or French onion soup mix. Mix
You
all
put
that.
ketchup on it.
Hell no. It's a brown gravy household. Ketchup.
So
That's an elaborate meatloaf.
that sounds acceptable. You lose me when you start throwing in like crazy ingredients like peppers and all that crap.
No. Occasionally you can do sausage.
That I don't eat.
That's not.
Aye.
But
then I would eat
I
meatloaf.
think I've
not-
had peppers and ketchup. That's what I think I had.
I think instead of inviting myself over your house next week, I'm going to invite myself over Zero's house.
So he's the one talking it up.
Because he's talking of a good meatloaf right now.
Dude, I'm the one who does carne asada tacos.
But you're
Don't
so
forget
damn
that.
far.
Too long of a drive, Dave.
Look, Dave.
I am
That
worth
would be a
the
sleepover.
I am worth the trip.
You don't even have to move. Look, get an RV, okay, and just road trip every Thursday night. We'll even meet you
Listen,
halfway.
I
Come
may
on, Paul.
live in North Carolina. I am not living in a mobile. I'm not in any kind of mobile
Not
domicile.
actually live there, just temporarily. Just make it happen.
You could bring Kira.
You can spice it up. It could be Mobile Home Gundam.
Good night, everybody.
Buy our shirts.
The sad part is there's probably like one guy out there that actually wants to buy one of our shirts, and they don't exist
Yeah,
yet.
where can I find these shirts?
Did we do True Star Screamer yet?
We haven't. It was just you so far.
Oh. And Joe.
It doesn't count.
Yeah.
True Star Screaming, where can we find you?
You can find me, of course, here every Thursday night, unless, like my depression kicks in again, with these fine gentlemen, as well as on the PlayStation Network at True Star Screamer, where I will destroy you in Mortal Kombat. And finally, on the Instagram at True Star Screamer, which, as I'm working with this thing, pictures are getting cooler and cooler. So
Yeah,
that's
we
where I'm
didn't
at.
talk about Mortal Kombat reveals.
No, we did not.
And the porn Joker.
With Porn Star Joker.
More starch.
Matt's here.
I'm
Zero's
here.
here.
I'll be here next week and the week after that because I enjoy you all.
Yay. We enjoy
I mean,
that.
Oh yeah. Zero, where can we find you?
Of course, you can find me here every Thursday night with you fine gentlemen. You can find me on Instagram as Extra Zero. You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero and on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live as Extra Zero. There's a space between Extra and Zero on Xbox. And I think that'll do it for tonight's episode. So again, if you haven't already, kill Bassa Slam that like button, hit the subscribe button so you can see all of our content, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see when we pop up with additional content. We need like our own click the videos variation. We gotta see if StreamYard has a way for us to go out on that.
There is.
Yeah.
So we need T-Man to compose a new song.
T-Man was practicing her with it earlier. Can we hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It was like an opera rendition.
It was. He got into it.
Click that shit. Go ahead and click that shit. If you did, you would like it.
That's the spoken.
So go ahead and click that shit. Now we're freaking gone. Click the button.
Well, no one actually said bye. They're all
Bye.
Bye.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace.
Crap, there goes another